Should you ever curse during a professional speech or video? No. Hi, my name is Dave Lorenzo. This is the Do This, Sell More show. I want to welcome you on board. We are here every day at 9 a.m. on the podcast, every afternoon at 5 p.m. on YouTube, and 24/7 on the C-Suite Network. It's my pleasure to welcome you on board. Today we're talking about professionalism and your presentation style. That's right, whether you choose to present topics and information on video, in person, or in a sales setting, you need to have a professional demeanor, a professional appearance, and make a huge impact in a way that you will be memorable. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. First thing we're going to address is how you look. When you take the stage or you walk in the room, your presence should be felt by your appearance. Now, what does that mean? There are many people out there. I see them on YouTube all the time. I go to conferences and I see them presenting who they look like they're skateboarders. They haven't shaved in a month. They got scully caps on and hoodie sweatshirts, and they take to the stage and they're looking like they're some Generation X kid off the street. Now, if this is your personal brand, that's one thing. But 99% of people can't pull off some type of look like Gary Vaynerchuk. For those of you who don't know who Gary V is, look him up. He's a guru of social media. He's also a marketing genius for the new millennium. He's a guy who gets a lot of speaking engagements, very highly paid speaker, but he looks like a street thug. And he curses when he speaks. 99% of the population cannot pull that off. I guarantee you probably can't pull it off, so you shouldn't try to. The first thing you need to think about when it comes to your appearance is you need to look professional. You can wear a nice pair of jeans, a very good pair of shoes, a fashionable t-shirt, and a jacket, and speak to a technology conference, and you'll fit right in. A bunch of entrepreneurs in the room, that look is fine. I do that all the time on video, and I want you to feel comfortable with me, and I want to feel comfortable speaking to you, and that's why I use that look. Now, if you're speaking to a group of bankers or financial advisors or industry analysts, you want to wear your best suit, you want to wear a white shirt, you want to wear a very nice tie, you want to wear a conservative color suit, blue or dark gray, and you want to conduct yourself in a way that's going to come off as ultra professional. The two elements that I've described here are your comfort and professionalism. The third element is your personal brand. If you have a signature look that you like to present, that's important. Perhaps you always wear a pocket square, or perhaps you wear a certain color tie, or perhaps you're like Steve Jobs used to be and you only wear a black t-shirt and blue jeans. I would encourage you to have a signature look once you become an accepted staple in an industry. If you've planted your flag and you are well known in an industry, you can pretty much wear whatever you want. Gary Vaynerchuk, Steve Jobs, those type of people, they could show up to a conference dressed in a bathing suit and a t-shirt and they would be accepted. You and I can't do that. So we have to be, number one, comfortable ourselves. If you're not comfortable, your delivery won't be comfortable and your message will get lost. But number two, we have to be professional. The third thing is your personal brand. And your personal brand could be as simple as always wearing a blue suit with a blue and gold tie and a white shirt with a very nice pocket square. That could be your personal brand. Your cufflinks could be a specific type of cufflinks and very nice polished shoes. That could be your personal brand, and you could wear that to every event, and that would be fine. You could wear a black t-shirt, black jacket, black slacks. That would be your personal brand, and that would be fine. As long as you're comfortable and professional, expressing your personal style is acceptable always. Those are the three elements of your appearance. Now let's talk about the verbiage. Let's talk about the words that you use. My particular style is one where I use words that connect with my audience in a way that helps elevate the conversation. I would never in a million years consider using curses or objectionable language in a presentation. And 99.9% of the people who speak to corporate audiences should follow that rule. I know there are some speakers out there that use objectionable language and they say, hey, I'm just keeping it real. And you'll hear people say, oh, political correctness, that's what's destroying our society. No, not true. What's destroying our society are people who don't think about other people before they open their mouths. That's what will destroy society. So if you are hired to give a speech, you're not just representing yourself. You're representing the person who put you in front of the room in the first place. And if that person curses like a sailor, then maybe it's okay for you to curse like a sailor, but I still wouldn't chance it. Using objectionable language is a reflection of two things. One, a poor vocabulary, and two, poor intellect. If you have no other way to express yourself other than using four-letter words, filthy language, then you either belong on a comedy stage or you belong outside the boardroom, because there is no way anybody's going to invite you into a boardroom if you're cursing in front of a room full of 1,000 people. It's just not going to happen. Leave the curses at home. Second thing I need you to think about from a language perspective is cultural differences. If you're speaking to a group in a different geographic area than you're used to, you have to examine the culture of that geography and make sure that your language is a good cultural fit. Don't use language from New York or the Northeast. For example, in Boston, they use the word wicked all the time. That person is wicked smart. Well, if you go down south and you say somebody's wicked smart, they're going to think they're evil and smart. You don't want to do that. And that's just in the United States. If you're crossing borders, if you're going from the U.S. to Canada, you have to take into account the cultural differences in the Canadian market. If you're going to an international convention with people from all over the world there, you have to keep your presentation on such an even language keel that nobody would be offended by what you said. Remember, the objective is for you to, at minimum, get leads and ideally get work from your presentation. So if you're out there offending people, if you're punching people in the mouth, nobody's going to hire you. Make sure your language is such that it's not going to be offensive to anyone. The third point I will make about language is know the industry language. If you're speaking to an industry association, know the industry jargon. You have to know what words they use, and you don't have to use them if you don't understand them, but when they ask you questions in their jargon, you have to be able to respond. So make sure you don't lose credibility and you know the language of the industry. All right, now let's talk about how you structure your cadence, the way that you speak, the pace, the timing. That's incredibly important. If you want to keep people's attention, you need to speak quickly. If you're in a geography that's different from your own and there may be a language barrier, you need to adjust your cadence. The thing about cadence is you own it. So people will respond depending on how you present yourself. If you notice, when I speak on video, I tend to speak very quickly because I have a lot of information and I want to get it across to you as fast as I possibly can. I know you can pause, you can rewind, you can go back. If I'm in front of a group of people, I'm going to pause for dramatic effect before I make a really important point. If you're using humor, humor is a completely different animal. You should practice your humor on audiences unrelated to your topic before you ever deliver it in front of an important audience. And I urge you, if you are not a comedian, if you've never done any stand-up comedy, don't use jokes in your speeches. You won't know how to do it, and you're more than likely going to either offend someone or look really bad when you don't get a laugh. The best humor to use is self-deprecating humor. Your cadence will help you make your points if you're using humor or if you're not using humor. The tone and the cadence you use should keep people entertained, and it should keep them moving right along with you. The final point I want to make when it comes to delivering presentations and doing it in the right way, making sure that you command your presence on the stage or making sure that you nail your point from a sales perspective, is how you open and how you close. You'll notice when I do these podcasts or when I do the videos that you've seen on YouTube or on the C-Suite network, I open by hitting you right in the mouth with something that pulls you in. It's either a question or it's a statement that makes you sit back and go, I wonder what this is all about. Your speech or your sales presentation needs to open with something that powerful. It needs to open with a great story or with a great statement that grabs the audience. And then When you close, you should wrap it all together and bring people back to where you started. I opened our time together today by asking you if it was ever appropriate to curse in a presentation, and then I used a turn of a phrase to get your interest. Now I'm going to close by offering an opportunity to you to use the skills that I've just taught you. If you have any questions about this, or you have any questions about anything related to sales or marketing or revenue growth, I want you to ask me your questions, and I've set up a new way to do that. This new way to do it is a dedicated email address for people who are listening to the sound of my voice right now, people who are connecting with me right here. If you can see me or hear me right now, you can send me a question to askdave@dlorenzo.com. I will spell it out, ASKDAVE altogether, @dlorenzo.com, DLORENZO.com, askdave@dlorenzo.com. Make a video on your phone asking your question, stating your name and your company name and where you live. Send me that video question. I will use the video or the audio on the podcast and the videos that I shoot for you to ask me your question, and I'll respond. I love to answer questions. They're the lifeblood of what I do. They tell me what you're interested in. They allow me to make more great videos and audio programs for you. Shoot a video on your phone. Ask me your question. I'll use the video or I'll use the audio. Send it to askdave@dlorenzo.com. askdave@dlorenzo altogether.com. dlorenzo.com. askdave@dlorenzo.com. That's my way of giving back to you. I want you to ask me your questions about presentation style. I want you to ask me your questions about revenue growth. I'm here for you every day. And until tomorrow, at the sound of the tone, if you do this, you will sell more.